time, learners! Today we are going to learn how to identify theme in any story. So if you want to learn how to identify theme, then let's go. In the description, you will find the graphic organizer I'm using and the lesson plan. And it is free to download so you can follow along. If you don't have this, that's okay. You can still follow along with this lesson. So, before we get started, I always like to ask, what do I already know about theme? Well, you might not realize, but you likely already know how to identify theme. Have you ever been talking to a friend about a movie and they ask, hey, what was the movie about? And you say, oh, it was about love, or the movie was about forgiveness, or the movie was about friendship. These are all themes. So let's look at some common themes that happen in stories. Friendship, bravery, courage, acceptance, overcoming challenges, hope, forgiveness, family, honesty, kindness, being yourself, and love. So these are some common themes that we see in stories. So today our goal is going to be, how can I determine theme in any story? So let's look at our 3 objectives for this lesson. I can determine theme. I can communicate and discuss theme. And I can check my understanding of theme. Great. So now we have an overall sense of what our goal is going to be today. Let's go ahead and discuss a little bit about what theme is. So remember, before any lesson, good readers ask, what does theme mean? What do I already know about theme? And this would be a great opportunity to stop and discuss this with your classmates. I have a great way for us to remember what theme means. So here on my whiteboard, I have the word theme. Now, taking theme, I'm going to draw a line from the, and then I'm going to write message. So theme means the message of our story, or I like to think it's the overall heart of the story. So it's the message of the story or the heart of the story. So if you are excited to jump into theme, which I know you are, let's go ahead and learn about how can I find theme in a story. We are going to be reading The Heart and the Bottle by Oliver Jeffers. This is one of my favorite books that I used every year to teach theme. It has such a great message, and it also can have a lot of takeaway messages for readers as well. So let's go ahead and jump into reading this, and then we'll learn how do I identify theme using my graphic organizer. Once there was a girl, much like any other, whose head was filled with all the curiosities of the world, with thoughts of the stars, with wonder at the sea. She took delight in finding new things. They must spend a lot of time near the ocean. And then here's some pictures of her drawing. I know my daughter loves to draw. Until the day she found an empty chair. Aww. This part is always really sad, how she's just sitting and looking at that empty chair. Feeling unsure, the girl thought the best thing was to put her heart in a safe place, just for the time being. So she put it in a bottle and hung it around her neck. And that seemed to fix things at first. Although in truth, nothing was the same. She forgot about the stars and stopped taking notice of the sea. She was no longer filled with all the curiosities of the world and didn't take much notice of anything. So in this one, we see that she has her heart around her neck. She's a little bit older and she's looking at the chair, or she's thinking about her empty chair, okay? Other than how heavy and awkward the bottle had become, but at least her heart was safe. It might never occur to the girl what to do had she not met someone smaller and still curious about the world. So this kid is thinking, do elephants swim in the ocean? There was a time when the girl would have known how to answer her, but not now, not without her heart. And it was right at that moment she decided to get it back out of the bottle. But she didn't know how. She couldn't remember. So here she is with a hammer. And nothing seemed to work. So it looks like she tried using the vacuum. She has a drill. She has a wood hammer. The bottle couldn't be broken. It just bounced and rolled. Right down to the sea. But there, it occurred to someone smaller and still curious about the world that she might know a way. And it just so happened, so the little girl's reaching her hand into the bottle. She did. The heart was put back where it came from. And the chair wasn't so empty anymore. Aww. But the bottle was. What a great story. So let's talk a little bit now. How do I identify theme from reading that book? Well, a couple things I'm going to ask myself. What was the problem that the main character faced? And how did that character solve their problem? And then what can I learn from that character? Because when we read, we really want to be learning things with our reading. We want to also take away ideas or thoughts or even lessons that we may not have thought of until we read that book or that story. So let's go ahead and jump into our graphic organizer, and this is going to help organize how I determine theme. The first question, who is the main character? The main character is a little girl, or I could just put the main character is a girl. We don't ever know the character's name, and we do see that she eventually grows up, but I just know that the main character is a girl. It's mostly about her. What is the main problem in the story? The main problem in the story is that the girl had bottled up all her feelings and she no longer started to find joy in things because she learned that if she bottles everything up, she still can't even find excitement. She had bottled up all her emotions in her heart. What does the character learn? The character learns that with joy also comes sadness. So I'm wondering, have you thought about what happened in the story? Why was the chair empty? Do any of you know? So at the beginning of the story, we saw that she was at the beach with her dad a lot, right? He was flying a kite. They would be on the ground looking at things and telling stories together. And then all of a sudden his chair was empty. So I conclude that the little girl had lost her dad. And she didn't want to deal with the sadness anymore, so she bottled up all her feelings inside. And as she got older, she realized she had actually bottled up all of her feelings. And she no longer could find joy. But one day, as she grew up, she realized, I want to find excitement again. And by becoming friends or from learning from somebody who was younger than her, she missed her curiosities and she missed her excitement. So she started to learn, I don't want to have everything bottled up inside anymore. I want to find excitement again. I want to find joy. And I like that thought bubble she had with the empty chair. Because even though she was still sad about losing, I don't know if it was her grandpa or her dad, but she was still sad about losing someone in her life, she still wanted to find joy. She still wanted to go back to feeling those things that made her happy before. So the big overall question is, what does the character learn? Okay, so we already talked about she learned that with sadness also comes joy. And with joy also comes sadness, right? We have all these feelings. So what is the overall message, or what did you learn from the character? So a lot of times theme can be tricky for students just because you guys are so young, you don't have a lot of life lessons yet. But if you have ever lost an animal or a grandparent or even someone closer to you, you may understand that it's hard dealing with that sadness. So what is something that you can think about of overcoming that sadness, or how did you deal with that sadness? So for me, I learned that it is okay to feel happy and it is also okay to be sad, but it is not okay to bottle up my feelings. So that's what I learned. The message can be finding joy. It can be learning to overcome grief. So the thing to keep in mind with theme is that there can be many different themes, and that is what I took of the overall message. And this also teaches me in my real life that if I bottle up all my feelings, I may miss out on joy. I may miss out on curiosity. I may miss out on new exciting things because I'm not letting my sadness go, right? She never dealt with her sadness. So when that happens as we grow up, we soon realize that, well, I don't want to be like this anymore, and I want to find excitement again. So the character learned a really great lesson, and she had someone else help her take out her feelings. And this is also such a great lesson because it teaches us that sometimes asking for help with others, we can learn also how to find joy again. So, what did you think about this story? What did you think the theme was? So let's go ahead and review quickly what happened, and then we'll end this video. When I am trying to determine theme, I'm going to first read through the book, and then afterwards, I'm going to discuss who was my main character. What lesson did my main character learn from their problem? Because remember, how they solve their problem is also going to help me determine my theme. So when I'm looking at theme, I know that it's going to be a lesson that the character learned. The overall message of the story or the heart of the story. Now, if you watched my video on making predictions, what was the theme of Too Many Carrots? Well, I learned that Rabbit was the main character, and Rabbit's problem was that he kept hoarding carrots and it was ruining his friend's house. And in the end, he solved his problem by getting rid of all the carrots and all his friends could be in his house. So I would say that the overall message or the heart of the story is friendship. Material items don't mean as much as friendship, right? Because Rabbit had to learn that if he kept pushing his carrots into his friend's house, he would eventually lose his friends. So he learned that friendship was much more important than his carrots. See how easy that was for me to start figuring out theme? So a graphic organizer is used for us to go step by step on how to determine theme. And eventually we don't have to use our graphic organizer when we already know those steps by heart. You have a good sense of what theme is now. And I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson. I look forward to seeing you in the future. And if you have not already, please check out my video on making predictions. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, learners.